Good afternoon. Welcome to The Topic. I'm Todd Duplantis. This is a show where we highlight Houston Community College, our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. If you are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube, we're live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Look for us under Houston Community College District. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you get notices when we have new shows like this. Stick around. Later in the show, I'll tell you how you can download audio versions of our shows as podcasts. We're going to reel back out to Coleman College again, this time on The Topic. Dental health has gotten a lot of attention lately for being an important component in overall health, and especially in cardiac death. HCC's Coleman College has a program to train dental assistants to help us with those pearly whites. Joining us now, first up, Program Director Kay Jukes. Welcome to the show, Kay.
Hi, Todd. Thanks for having me today.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing about this, and I understand your dental assisting program is only one in Houston accredited by the Commission on Dental Accreditation. Tell us about that and why it's so important.
So not only are we the only accredited program in the Houston area, we're only 1 out of 7 in the state of Texas. So for accreditation, the body that accredits us is the same body that oversees dental hygiene programs as well as dental schools as well. So it means basically we have lesson plans. We have a criteria that we have to teach, not just labs, but lectures as well. We have a time length that we go through, and we have certain criteria that we have to make sure the standards are met for the students prior to their graduation. We also are held accountable for how many applications we get, how many students graduate, how many pass the board exams. So it's pretty rigorous 10.5-month program.
Do the students go in cohorts like many of the programs at Coleman?
We do. We actually have a fall cohort where we'll accept 30 students, and then we have a spring cohort where we accept 12 students.
Now, what credentials do students get when they graduate, and what do they need?
So before they ever graduate, we have them take the state exam given by the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners. That's what is needed in Houston or in Texas and be able to work as a dental assistant. But because we're accredited by the Commission on Dental Accreditation, the students are also eligible to take the national board exam. If they take that, then they become a certified dental assistant, and that's good in all the states, even Canada. So should they ever leave the state, those credentials will go with them, whereas the RDA or the registered dental assistant does not go with them.
While the students are taking in these programs, obviously they're placed in locations where they can practice, or how does that work? Is it an externship?
Right. They do over 300 hours of externship. So all over the greater Houston area, because we have students who come from all over the area. We go up as far as Lake Houston, Clear Lake, Pearland, Richmond, Rosenberg. They do, like I said, over 300 hours. We start off with general practices, and then they can choose if they would like to go to like an orthodontist that does braces. They can do oral surgery, pediatrics. And then we also use private practices. We use the dental school. We use city clinics. So they really get a feel for not just the type of specialty they may want to work in, but the type of practice they want to work in.
Is this a good launching path or a pathway for people who may want to get into the dental hygiene program?
So we have lots of students who come in and say they want to go to hygiene. They're using this as a stepping stone. Here at HCC, we do have advanced standing into dental hygiene, which means each year, 2 of our graduates who also meet the criteria of dental hygiene get automatic admission into the program. So dental hygiene only takes 18 students. So 2 of ours will be in that 18. We have a lot of students who come in and want to do hygiene who end up falling in love with dental assisting and stay there. We've had students go on to be dentists. So it is a great stepping stone for someone that doesn't have any experience whatsoever in dentistry to get into dental hygiene.
What's the job market like? We always hear about, we've got an aging population, a lot of people getting medical care. Obviously, a lot of people wanting to go to the dentist these days, especially after getting out of this pandemic. What's the job market looking for?
So we're seeing at least an 8% increase over the next couple of years over any other job markets. Most of our students, we cannot keep up with the job demand. We have probably at least 2 or 3 offices a week calling us looking to hire one of our students. Most of our students find jobs before they ever graduate. Generally, the only time we cannot find a job for a student is they only want to work in a particular location and for a particular specialty. Then it may be difficult to find. But other than that, as I said, most of our students, probably at least 85–90% of them, find jobs before they even graduate.
And what's the pay ranges for dental assisting, and if they decide to go in a dental hygiene program?
Most of our students start out anywhere from $16 to $20 an hour. Don't quote me on hygiene since I don't deal with the hygiene students, but I believe they're making anywhere from $45 to $50 an hour.
Wow. 10 months to get out and have a very lucrative career from what it sounds like. If you want to register for the fall, have you already started your current cohort, or do students have time to register at this point?
No, we've already started the fall cohort. So we're already started taking applications now for the spring. So if someone's interested, they need to apply as soon as possible because we do only take 12 students.
Before getting into this program, are there other courses that the students would need to take at HCC that would be prerequisites?
So if somebody has no previous college experience, we have them take the Introduction to Health Professions. It's the HPRS 1201. If they have some previous college, a lot of times we will use that as their prior experience, so they won't have to take another course prior to getting in. But we like them to have some basic knowledge of what the college experience is going to be like and the college study. Like I said, because it is kind of rigorous. We take 17 hours the first semester, 16 the second, and then the summer is usually 4 or 5 hours, depending on which cohort they are in.
Yeah, I remember taking in college a load of like 18 hours, and that was crazy. But
Yes.
This sounds like a very rigorous program. You're going to need to be dedicated. Do students find themselves trying to work full time, or is this too much of a rigorous course structure to prevent them from doing that?
Full time is really too much. We have some that try and they find out they just can't do it. Part time is really tough as well. It just depends on how dedicated they are. But we have lots of students who come through, especially single moms with kids and working. It's doable. I'm not going to say it's not by any means, but it's tough. You have to, have good time management skills, definitely.
Are there scholarships or financial aid available for this program?
Financial aid does cover the program, and we have lots of students who get scholarships. There are specific dental scholarships that are available that we've had students receive. And then, of course, HCC has a multitude of opportunities available for scholarships as well.
So the main thing is get in there and submit your name for, if you were into doing this, you would want to submit your name now for the spring semester. Is that how it would work?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. The application portal is open, so send those applications in.
We're going to put all your information with those links to where they can learn more about the program in our social media post after the show. Kay Jukes is the program director at Coleman College. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Todd, for having me.
All right. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll get a faculty perspective on the program.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better, with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
Welcome back to The Topic. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday at 1 p.m. while HCC is in session. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us in social media as Houston Community College District. We've been talking about the dental assisting program at Coleman College, and right now we're joined by Charlsey Jimenez, who is a full-time faculty member in the program. Charlsey, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
So tell us a bit about what students learn in the lab.
The students learn everything they need to know to be successful. So we start from simple things like alginate mixing for impressions, all the way up to crown preps and everything in between. We do a lot of custom stuff in here. So from bleaching trays to night guards to everything in between, they learn it all. Something I really pride myself on in being in the lab is making sure that they're prepared 100%. We have a little fun too, but we get to work and we get stuff done. So that way, upon graduation, they're completely ready. Towards the end of their studies, they actually prepare a case study. And so we use that case study to make sure the lab is completely up to date with any new or innovative ideas from the clinical setting. So that way, everything that they're learning here are things that they actually use out in the field. So upon graduation, they're totally ready.
What type of person wants to get into this field? What do you think is a commonality amongst people who get into dental assisting or your students?
Yeah. So people's people who love to help, people who care about the whole body experience. So I think people take their dental mouth for granted, right? And so, it's wanting to be better from the mouth down and out and all around, And so I think if you want to help people, this is the place for you. I came into the program not really wanting to mess with blood, and that sort of seems to be the vibe for most of our students. So if nursing or anything that's of a bloody nature isn't for you, this is sort of the place you can fall and still fall into the healthcare industry. So it's a good catch.
How did you wind up at HCC? What brought you here?
Yeah, so my story is actually really cool. It's very full circle. So I graduated from Coleman from the dental assisting program in 2017. And at the time, our program director, Mrs. Jukes, was not the program director. She was actually my main professor. So she taught me in the lab. She taught me in the lecture classrooms. So that's really cool. I was actually afforded an opportunity to work in a pediatric office in my externship. Fell in love with pediatrics and special needs and all of that, and worked there until I got the call from Miss Jukes that a position became available. She was seeing if I was interested and circled back and came running and haven't looked back since. So for me, it's about impacting others and making a difference. And when I was working out in the field, I felt like, you see 10 to 12 patients a day and you impact those people, but that's sort of where it ends. And being faculty, you impact your students who impact their patients, who impact their patients' patients. And so it's just really cool how that ripple effect is really wide and deep. And so it's been really rewarding.
What do you love the most about this work? I mean, you talked about being able to make those impressions and the ripple effects, but what do you love about it personally, about this work?
I find it to be really fulfilling. I have always loved investing in others. And that's not to say that these students don't invest in me. I feel like I learn just as much from them as they do from me, hopefully. And so it's really, really cool to see that the job that we do here matters and that we're making a difference. So it's just been super rewarding.
I'll ask you the same question I asked earlier to Kay. What type of commonalities do you find with your students? One thing that you find in all of them?
A drive to succeed. I really feel like when they come in here, they know that it's a rigorous program and they know that they want to do well. And I think that's one of my favorite interview questions when they answer, they're like, I don't just want to finish the program. I want to be the best in the program. And I love that all of our students really have a drive to be not only successful, but to be successful in everything, in every asset and aspect of their lives. So yeah, drive.
What do you see as the biggest misconceptions that students have when they come into the program? Like, oh, we thought we'd be doing this, but we're actually doing it this way.
Yeah. So a lot of people come in and they think that all they're going to do is suck spit. I'll be honest. That's kind of what I thought, like just glorified spit suckers. And my husband and I joke about it all the time. Like, I'm the best spit sucker, And so you do so much more. We really are treating the whole patient, and we're a huge factor in how an office runs. And I think a lot of people come into the assisting program thinking that they're just going to work side by side with patients and sit chairside with a dentist. And what they learn is they also learn front desk and how to deal with insurance and how to deal with patient complaints, and they learn how to deal with patient fears and all of those things. So it's really the whole body experience and the whole patient experience, which I think is really interesting.
Have you seen, just curious, since we had the pandemic, we're, came out of a lockdown, things are changing. Have you seen any changes in the industry as a result to what happened over the last 3 years?
I'll tell you, I was actually out in the field working in the clinical setting when the pandemic began. And one of the things that I think is really cool about dentistry is that it didn't change too much because of OSHA standards and everything that we do for patient safety and care. We were already taking care of the cleanliness and sanitation, so on and so forth. And so there really wasn't a huge change. I think the number of patients you bring in a day and how they piggyback off of each other and how closely you schedule patients was absolutely changed. But outside of that, the OSHA standards stayed the same. I think it's really great that we set high standards both before the pandemic and after.
We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us this afternoon. We've been talking to Charlsey Jimenez with the Coleman College Dental Assisting Program. Best of luck to you. Best wishes. And thanks for being here on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have all the information you need. Like, I need to get the website addresses. We'll have that in our social media post after the show. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be talking to one of the students in Coleman's Dental Assisting Program. The topic's back in 60 seconds.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to The Topic. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we're live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. You can also catch our show on HCC TV and look for us in social media under Houston Community College District. If you're into podcasts, you can download all the audio versions of this show and most of our programming on as a podcast. Visit hccs.edu/podcast. This afternoon, we're talking about Coleman College's Dental Assisting Program. We're joined now by one of the students, Catherine Sparks. Catherine, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So I'm going to ask you this first off, what brought you into wanting to do dental assisting?
So I actually originally applied for the hygiene program last year, and I did not make it all the way through. So I decided to take that route to the assisting program while I waited, just to get kind of some of the foundational knowledge under my belt.
So your ultimate goal would be to go into the dental hygiene program and complete that this time, correct?
So I actually did get accepted into the hygiene program this semester.
All right. So you're doing it now.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. What made you first interested in the dental field, though?
So my interest kind of stems from my own personal experience with my own teeth. I had a lot of childhood cavities. I've had some teeth had to be pulled, some root canals. So my own personal struggle with it is kind of what initially got me interested in the dental field. And I want to be able to help other patients just learn about the proper oral hygiene and maybe help prevent some of the problems I've had and kind of give them a boost of confidence with their smiles.
Why did you choose Coleman? What brought you to Coleman College?
So this is actually the third program I've done here at Coleman College. I came back in 2014 for sterile processing initially, and I love the environment. I'm familiar with the campus, but just the vibe and the environment of the people here was very welcoming.
And tell us about the the challenges of managing your personal life. We talked about earlier with Kay, where she was telling us it's really hard to work full time if you're going to be taking these programs. Tell us about your own experience and how do you manage your life and going to a rigorous program like this?
Okay. Time management. That is the number one most important thing. I'm a single mom. I have 2 children. They're both boys, 8 and 4. I actually did somehow manage to work 2 part-time jobs throughout the assisting program. So it's very complicated and hard when you're mixing, I have my kids, then work and school. But I think as long as you're able to stay on top of your time and manage it very well, it's definitely doable.
What type of support systems did you find through here?
So with the school, the professors, they all had open doors. They all wanted it to be a safe place. They all offered help anytime I had an issue or a problem or I needed to talk. They were all very helpful and being very supportive and helping in any way that they possibly could.
Besides being very affordable, I would imagine, going through HCC, what are some of the benefits you would tell people who are maybe thinking of getting into this program or getting into one of the cohorts? What advice would you give them?
If you want it, go for it. Don't be afraid. It is rigorous. It does take a lot of, time management, but don't be afraid to just go for it. So me not getting hygiene last year and kind of having to go like the assisting route first ended up being more of like a blessing in disguise for me personally. I have a much more like appreciation for the dental assistants in the field. And even when I go into hygiene, like I will never forget where my roots started as an assistant. So to me, it was a very rewarding experience to kind of go that route as the assisting first and then go on to hygiene.
You mentioned instructors, what you liked about the instructors at HCC. What are some of the other things that you like? I mean, I don't think people understand how incredible Coleman College is. I mean, you guys have incredible facilities there. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that and the instructors and working in the labs.
The labs was very fun. And Miss Jimenez was the lab teacher. She definitely makes it an awesome experience to be a part of. But I mean, just the whole atmosphere of everybody here and the environment kind of plays a big role in, being able to come to looking forward to come to school. So it definitely helped make the entire experience a lot more enjoyable.
When you just started in the hygiene, is that correct? Is that a 10-month program as well?
So the assisting is the 10-month program. That's where I started. The hygiene program is actually a 2-year program.
Okay. Do you have plans after that? Any areas you've targeted to work or any parts of town, or are you just going to kind of see what happens as you get through it and where you land a job?
Currently, I am just taking it week by week.
I get it. Well, we appreciate you joining us on the show. I know you're busy. Are you at Coleman right now?
I am at Coleman right now, yes.
Catherine Sparks, one of our students at Coleman College's dental assisting program, former dental assisting program, now on in hygiene. We wish you the best of luck and continued success.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Catherine. All right, and we're going to wrap up the show. Remember, follow us on social media. Look for us as Houston Community College District. You can also download all of our programming audio versions at hccs.edu/podcasts. That wraps up this week's show. For The Topic, I'm Todd Duplantis. See you next week.